We are blessed again, and let me read this again for those of you who didn't make it last night. Brigitte Gabriel, she is perhaps the most recognizable face seen on the news networks regarding the threat of Islam here in the West and certainly in America. She has been interviewed on numerous television programs such as The O'Reilly Factor, Glenn Beck, the Fox News Channel, Hannity and Combs, the BBC. Brigitte Gabriel has spoken before the United States Senate, Joint Forces Staff College, the U.S. Special Operations Command, the FBI, and the Pentagon. Her work has been on an international scale, bringing her before world leaders such as Margaret Thatcher, President George Bush, Yitzhak Rabin, Shimon Peres, Israel Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, and she has appeared before the parliaments of both England and Australia. Ms. Gabriel has been named one of the top 50 most influential speakers in America. She speaks 4 languages, Arabic, French, English, and Hebrew, and she is now, and we're happy to say this, I think this church helped make this happen here when she visited us with us last. Her book, Because They Hate, has now become a New York Times best-selling book. So once again, give a warm welcome to Brigitte Gabriel.
Thank you for the warm welcome. I am thrilled to be here. I am thrilled to be here and actually coming after Marty playing the piano. I have to tell you a story. I mean, how can I top this? I have to tell you a story about Marty. When I came to this conference, Robin asked me, she says, oh, you're going to love the music, because she knows I love the music and I love worship. And she said, you're going to meet, have you heard Marty? Marty's going to be here playing. And I said, no. I don't think so. I've never heard of him. So she said, oh, you're in for a treat. I said, great. So we're sitting in the green room, we were eating, and Marty started playing last night. And I looked at the TV station and I'm going, I know this, I know this, I know this voice, I know this guy. And then I remembered why and how I know Marty. I remember Marty because of his passion that soars from his soul. I remember Marty because the first time I ever visited the United States as a tourist in 1986, I was here on a trip to 15 states, just my first trip ever out of the Middle East. And changing plans, and the last minute, I was supposed to fly Friday to go back to Israel, and I couldn't fly, and my airline was delayed until Monday. And my friend said to me, I was staying in Florida, and she says, oh, come with me, I'll take you to this Messianic temple. There is this great guy who comes and plays, and you're going to have a good time. So I rolled my eyes back, and I said, okay, I mean, now we have to fill the weekend. So we go to this temple where Marty was playing that night. And I was so touched by his voice, by his songs, by his words. I had my friend copy me a cassette back then in the mid-'80s. We didn't have CDs. And they sent it to Israel to me. It was a white cassette. It didn't even have his name on it. And I played that cassette over and over and over until that cassette broke one day. So 20 years later, here I am in America. And when I used to get down in Israel, when things used to get really hard with me, especially when I lost my parents, I remember when my parents died. And I'm an only child. As I mentioned yesterday, I didn't have anyone in the world. My parents died. I was 22 years old when I became an orphan. And I would play Marty's songs, and all I could scream was Adonai. Because of his song, I could never forget those words. And that touched me so much. And what I remembered about Marty when he would sing Adonai, and thank you for making him sing it tonight in front of me. That was my gift for this conference, him singing that song tonight. And I used to kneel on my knees and cry to God in front of my mother's tomb, screaming, Adonai, how can you have deserted me? Why did you leave me? Where are you? Why don't you listen to me? And I would remember Marty's voice. But what touched me with Marty was, and this is why today, 20 years later, here I am in the United States, and I run into him in the green room, and it was unbelievable when I heard his words. But what struck me was his passion. When people burn with passion, they leave a mark on your life and you never forget them. No matter how many years pass by, very few people in life have the ability to ignite passion in a way that you can remember it for years and years and years down the road. And the reason why I'm saying this and starting with this tonight is because in this country, we lack passion. We have forgotten what it's like to have passion, to speak with conviction. When we speak, to let our passion come out like fire and sparkle out of our mouth, to ignite others, to ignite their emotions, to ignite them with the passion that we have towards our country, towards our cause, towards the protection of the United States of America. That's what we need again. I was going to give you a big fancy spiel today about leadership, and I was looking at my notes this afternoon, and I realized, you know, I'm not going to give you a big speech. I'm going to talk to you from my heart. I'm going to talk to you about my life. I'm going to talk to you what inspired me to be what I am and how I overcame obstacles in a time when I didn't think I will be able to do so. And I'm going to share this with you because I want to hold your hand and walk with you in a journey, sharing my life with you to inspire you and let you realize that today when you watch the news and you feel helpless because you feel the Muslims are taking over our country, Islamic education in school, they're not teaching patriotism, they're teaching kids Islam. They take them to a field trip to a mosque. They make the kids adopt Islamic name, and for 3 weeks they teach them about Islam instead of the Bible. And you sit there as a parent and you just shake your head and you feel helpless. You look at the kids who go to college and they are completely brainwashed, like I mentioned yesterday, and why they are brainwashed. We send our children to college only to receive them back as people who hate our country, who are so much to the left that they do not want to have anything to do with America other than think that America is bad, we are big, we are strong, and we are the problem in the world. And you feel so frustrated. And you feel so frustrated when you go down to Garden Grove and it is infested with terrorists. And you think to yourself, they are taking over my state. What can I do? I feel helpless. Every single one of us has the power to change the world if we just put our mind to it and crystallize our thinking and believe, I have no other option but to save my life and my country. And once you get to that point, you will be able to make a difference for your country, for our country. And I'm going to give you a little bit about my life and my background. I was having lunch with Jen today. Where's Jen? Somewhere around. My bodyguard. The beautiful, gorgeous blonde with the long hair. She's single, by the way, for all the single guys. I'm playing matchmaker, and she's wonderful and gorgeous on the inside as well as the outside. So I'm having lunch with Jen today, and Jen said, you know, tell me about your life. How did you become a news anchor? My gosh, you know, we were talking about that. And I told her, you know, here's a word I'm going to teach you. Chutzpah. And she has never heard chutzpah. I cannot believe it. And she said, what's chutzpah? And I said, chutzpah, when you just have the backbone to go get whatever you want to get. You don't care what anybody else says. And the reason why I had to get what I needed to get was because as an only child to my elderly parents, I became the head of the household at age 14 years old.